You're thinking, Ken, this should be kind of obvious, but how do you know when you are being abused by a narcissist? Well, usually abuse is very upfront, very obvious, but as you're thinking back over your experience with this person who is a friend, was a friend, or is a maybe a love interest or whatever, as you're thinking back over this experience that you've had, now a horrific experience, you're wondering, how did this happen? I mean, I got into this friendship or love relationship with an individual, and it was great at the beginning. Always, always going extremely well, but now the abuse is becoming more and more apparent. What exactly happened here? Well, number one is this. It usually begins with you feeling just a little bit devalued. Now, one of the reasons that you developed a relationship with this person, maybe it was a friendship, again, it may have been a love interest, but the reason you began this relationship is because you guys had chemistry. This person made you feel like you had value, that you were a person of worth, and you reciprocated. And so you guys were getting along. It was fine. It was great. And you just kind of look forward to hanging out with this person. I mean, you really did. You just clicked. But now that's not quite the same. So you're beginning to see, or at that point in time, you were beginning to see hairline cracks in your relationship. I mean, it wasn't the perfect thing that you thought it was, but so what? The thought goes through your mind, so what? Nobody's perfect. Everybody, you don't see all their flaws at the very beginning, so you just kind of dismiss it. You just pass it by. Think nothing of it. Okay, so the guy's not perfect, so we can deal with this, no problem. But it begins by seeing those little cracks. And some of the first cracks you're going to experience is the narcissist is going to start make you feeling as if you have less worth, that you have less value. We call that being devalued. Why? Well, because the narcissist, being a narcissist, in his or her opinion, his or her view of the situation, sees himself or herself as having more value than you, more worth than you. And he or she needs to make that evident so that he or she can get supply from you. That is, supply basically is taking value from you, adding it to themselves so they can feel like they have more value. Yeah, that's what it's all about, devaluing the other person. Tiny little cracks, hairline cracks. Maybe in your relationship with your narcissist, you can remember when that happened. Number two is you begin to feel just fatigued by the other person's abuse. So initially, you saw these little cracks, you saw these points of devaluation, but now they're becoming more and more consistent. This is becoming the new reality. And you get kind of tired of it, but you're not ready to break away from this person. You're just realizing, in the way of thinking at the time, that, okay, so this was not the perfect person that I thought he or she was, but still, they're wearing me out. I mean, sometimes, I just want to get away from this person, and that is number three. You feel alone. Are you ready for this one? You feel alone in the person's presence. Do you know somebody like that? That just being around the person, it's not necessarily that you dislike them. Maybe you do. It's not necessarily that you think they're abusive at this point. And maybe they are. If it's a narcissist, I guarantee they are. But there's something about being around this person that they are so detached that you're no longer into each other. You just feel alone being with this person. And now that stage has crept into your relationship with your love interest, with your friend, and it's really disconcerting. It's really not very comfortable because it's kind of like you're having a relationship with a robot. It's not a real person. It's just this thing that's there. Or it's like having a relationship with a character in a movie or a TV show. They're not real. You can see them on the screen, but you can't talk to them. That's not even like Zoom. I mean, okay, you can see the person there. The narcissist is there, but he or she is withdrawn initially, beginning that withdrawal stage where you're with them and there's that red flag. You just kind of feel like, I just feel all alone. But again, you justify it, right? That happens to everybody. It's not just this. So the red flag is there, but you're not ready to recognize it quite yet as a red flag. Number 4 is you feel like you're just being tolerated. Just tolerated. Now, initially, during the love bombing stage, you didn't feel tolerated. You felt accepted. You felt like this person was heaping value and worth on you. But now it's kind of like you're the spare tire. You're there. We're not going to discard you yet. But, you're just kind of a tag along in case we happen to need you. In case of an emergency, we're just going to kind of tolerate you. We don't really, on a personal level, the narcissist, the way that you feel with your narcissist is they don't really care about you. They really don't love you. But for some reason, they keep hanging around. They still want to be attached to you. But you know that it's not just a matter of you feeling alone around this person, but they're just tolerating you. And that's it. That's as far as it goes. And that takes us to number 5 is then you feel unappreciated. All right, so at the very beginning, you guys were doing favors for each other and showing support for each other at each other's back, and now it's just kind of reversed, where it's not only they appreciate you, but they don't appreciate you at all. In fact, it's kind of as if you're just being used. Now, you may be asking me, or asking yourself rather, how do I know all this stuff? I mean, where did I get this? Well, I'm pushing 70 years old. I've got this from experience. What I'm telling you is what I have experienced dealing with narcissists. I've actually gone through these stages. I know what it's all about. And I'm just sharing with you some of the things that I've learned that maybe help you out as you recognize, hey, I'm going through some of these things myself. Ken, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I've been there. I don't know how old you are, but unless you're over 70, I've been there, and I've done that. Not exactly the same experiences that you're having, but yeah, I've had them. So you're now feeling unappreciated. So all these things are beginning to compound. First, you were devalued. Then you felt fatigued by all the devaluation. Then you started feeling alone in the presence of this very person that you once thought you had chemistry with. Now you are feeling just barely tolerated, and a step further, unappreciated. Number 6 is you feel overwhelmed by this person. So what happens is the narcissist, first of all, attached himself to you or herself through love bombing. And so you had this connection. And he presented himself, or she presented himself, as a good person. But now that attachment is growing stronger and stronger and stronger, and the more they are attached, well, it's kind of like a boa constrictor, when it wraps itself around the prey. That is where you are now. It's like this person, you thought it was kind of huggy, lovey. No, this is smothering. This is the person it just feels like, smothering, I guess is the best term to come up with. You just feel like that you are overwhelmed because this person is controlling you, not for your best interest. All right, he or she may say it's for your best interest because, after all, it's a narcissist. They know what's good for you, at least they say they do. And ultimately, what they're doing, and it's becoming really kind of obvious, that this person is out for one thing and one thing only, and that is for himself or herself. And you are realizing, wait a minute, am I a puppet here? I thought we had like a partnership or something going on. It turns out that that's not the case at all. This is somebody who is using me and abusing me. And so the light finally comes on. Now, I want you to imagine a sunrise. First thing this morning, the sun began to rise, and I heard the birds chirping, but I didn't see any light. They detected it. I didn't, but I knew the sun was rising, and sure enough, within a few minutes, you could see the very first light dawn of the morning. Well, give it, an hour or so? And finally, you could see the sun. It wasn't fully light. There were still some shadows, but you could see very well. Give it another hour, and, we had daylight. Wait till noon, you got all kinds of light, right? So that took, I don't know, maybe from the crack of dawn till noon, maybe 6 hours, depending on the time of year. So imagine that there is a sunrise that lasts for maybe several years. I mean, that is a slow sunrise. Well, that's how it is with a narcissist. It begins with those early cracks of dawn, those hairline cracks we talked about. And it may take years before it finally dawns on you and the light comes on. This is not what I thought it was, because at the very beginning, at dawn, everything was black, everything was dark. I couldn't see clearly. But now, okay, I got it. I see what's going on. So now we are realizing that the abuser, this is number 7, has some serious flaws. I don't mean cracks. I mean, they're trying to make you feel like the one who has flaws. But this person has some serious flaws, may even be criminal. This person has a past, has a history. You discover you're not the first person that this individual has done this to, and probably you're not the only person at the very moment this person is doing this to. Now what are you going to do? It's full noon. I mean, the sun is out. You can see what's going on. Well, what happens is the narcissist knows that you know. And so he or she discards you because, well, that type of supply is dried up. They can't take advantage of you anymore that way. They can still take advantage of you, but in different ways. What is that way? Well, that different way is, as you know, the smear campaign, where he or she recruits typically your friends. We've talked about this a million times, but recruit your friends, sometimes family members, convinces them that you're the bad guy, that you've been abusing him or her, and now it's all backwards. They flip the narrative, and now they're coming after you, right? You got that picture? So they're taking advantage of you, but in a different way. Instead of using you like a puppet, they're now using you, getting supply out of you by controlling you, by turning your friends against you. And as an added bonus, nobody will believe you when you tell them that this person has been abusing you because he or she has been investing a lot of time recruiting your friends and family. So they believe the narcissist, not you. All right, number 8 is this, and this is the final stage. And that is you feel disoriented. This is, again, after the final discard. So you see this person that now you don't want to have anything to do with. And that conflict comes into your mind. How is it possible? This is, you're looking at him. I mean, maybe you're seeing him from a distance or whatever, but you're looking at this person. This was my friend. Now this is somebody who is trying to hurt me and is enjoying doing it, having fun, taking me apart. And you see this person and you wonder, how can that be? Cognitive dissonance. It just doesn't make sense. You've got these two conflicting thoughts going because you know that at one point in time, this was somebody that you really hit it off with. And now it's somebody who is trying to destroy you. Same person. You did nothing to hurt this person. In fact, if you did anything, you tried to help this person and did nothing really but show them love and consideration. Why are they doing this to you? It's kind of confusing, but then you realize this is a covert narcissist. And now you know. Want to keep talking? Just click one of those 2 rectangles on the screen. We'll keep our conversation going. Hey, thanks for stopping by. And if you don't want to keep talking, okay, we'll see you next time.